So, do you want to drift like this? In this guide, I'll be showing you how to drift like me. You might have asked yourself, why should I take your advice? I've been in the Forza Drifting community for well over 6 years, and have learned every little crook and cranny, every weird exploit and engine quirk to maximize the smoothness of your car, paired with how much angle you can get comfortably. We will be going over car selection, car tuning, wheel settings, and how to tandem. Do note that I am 99% of the time on wheel, and this guide focuses on wheel/sim drifting. I will be teaching a lot of general things though, so even if you aren't on wheel, you will probably learn a thing or two from this guide. Do note that parts of this video shall be scripted, and other parts of the video will not be scripted. You will probably be able to tell which parts are scripted and which parts are not, but here we go, on with the guide. Before we get the guide started, I also want to show you my settings and my wheel settings. I have a G923, but these settings also work for the G920. If you're using something else like a TMX or something like that, it probably won't be very good. So, for braking, I use ABS, but it's not necessary. You should either have it anti-lock off or anti-lock on. On steering, you should always have it in standard. Turn off traction control, turn off stability control, and try manual with clutch. The clutch will save you and will help you in a lot of situations. Rewind should be on for a few reasons. If you go on rewind in custom maps, it stops your... It basically makes your car like see-through, and people can like go through you. So if you mess up, you won't ruin the entire line. And of course, damage and tire wear, leave it at cosmetic. These are my wheel settings. Some are pretty standard. The only weird thing I have is the deceleration because of how bad the brake pedal is on a G920. But other than that, these are my wheel settings. You can pause the video to copy them if you'd like. If you don't like them, you can always just reset to default, but this is what has been working for me, and I have given it to a lot of people and they say they enjoy it, so take that as you will. So here we are in the upgrade shop. I will be going through every upgrade I do and why I do it. I also will be explaining some offside things, but yeah. So first of all, I like tuning the car backwards. I don't start with the engine, I start with conversion. Do not get the wide body. You can, but it looks hideous and will ruin a lot of the tuning tips I will give you, so do not get the wide body. Obviously don't drivetrain swap, and I recommend doing an RB swap, putting a Skyline engine in this bitch. Why? The engine is just smoother, has a lot of torque, and that basically means more wheel spin, and that means less grip. You don't want to have that much grip if you want to go slow, of course. You want the car to feel smooth, you want the car to feel controllable, and you can fine tune while you're driving pretty much. It's hard to explain, but you'll see what I mean later on. For aero, any aero, doesn't matter, just don't get Forza aero. Other than that, you can use any kit. It really doesn't matter. They all kind of affect the car in the same way. I personally like the Origin Labo kit because it looks the best in my opinion. For tires and rims, you want to leave it at stock tires. Do not use drift tires. If a car comes stock with street tires, which a lot of cars do, if they're like more modern, you're gonna want to use snow tires. Snow tires are pretty much the same thing as stock tires, unless you're driving on snow, of course, but snow is pretty much irrelevant in this game. So for tire width, you don't touch it at all. You want to go around 205 for most cars, or as close as you can get to it. For rim size, you want the max. And track width, of course, you want max. Why the rim size? Not because it looks good or it looks better than anything else. It's because, you guessed it, less grip. So there is less grip in the car because of how skinny the tires are. So now let's go to drivetrain, race clutch. I don't know, self-explanatory. And I use race transmission 10 speed. You might be wondering, oh, why not use the drift transmission, or why not use the regular race transmission? Well, the race transmission is great. That's the one you should probably get. But the 10 speed adds weight, and you want to be as slow as possible. Or in a case where, of course, you want your car to be less heavy, then get drift transmission. Race driveline, and as long as you don't get a sport differential, you are good. You can use any of these all work just fine. I like getting a rally diff because I'm just like that. I don't know, they're pretty much the same thing. Brakes, you want max brakes. Drift suspension, of course, self-explanatory. Race anti-roll bars. And here's the tricky part. Some people like roll cage and some people don't. I personally don't use roll cage because I feel like I'm a chaser. I like chasing the person in front of me most of the time. I am not leading the tandem. I don't really like leading. I don't like it. I just don't like it. But this does make the car more planted, a little bit easier to control, and it makes it slower. But I personally don't use roll cage. And for weight reduction, almost never ever on almost any car use it unless they're a heavy bitch and they have skinny tires. If they're really heavy but have thick tires, you don't want to do that. Now let's go for the engine. So race intake, race fuel system, this is just to get the power up. These are all self-explanatory. Do not get camshafts. Camshafts will fuck with all the performance, the horsepower, the torque, and the torque curve, as you can see right there, is very different, and you won't be able to get max torque at low RPMs, which is what you want. Race valves, I already got that. Race displacement, and race pistons, race intercooler, and race cooling and oiling. If you want to make your car better at twin turbo, I suggest anti-lag. You can use anti-lag instead of some of the upgrades here, but that's what I suggest. And flywheel, race flywheel. So that's the basic upgrades of the car. Now we're gonna get into tuning. So here we are in the tuning shop. I tuned my car and I wanted y'all to see my tune, and I wanted to explain every number and why I chose it that way and what each thing does. So whenever you have to tune a car, you get to do whatever you want. For tire pressure, almost every car, if not every car, you should go 55-55. You want the least amount of grip, of course, we want to go slow. For gearing, this is my gear ratio. I know I had 10 gears on it, but just use this gear setup and you'll be golden. Even with the 10 gears, it'll be the same. So why do I do it exactly this way? So I make it so the car basically redlines but doesn't bounce. If the tachometer is bouncing off, you need to lower it a little bit. You want your car to just be at high revs, redlining it but not bouncing. So alignment, obviously less grip for camber. For toe, also less grip. A lot of toe in the rear though adds more angle, a little bit less stability, but the extra angle is incredibly worth it. And this is one of the only cars where I don't go 5050 because this car already gets so much angle, it doesn't need it. And if I were to put it 50, it would literally be like unchaseable by some cars. The anti-roll bars, incredibly soft. You want the car to not be super responsive. You want the car to be smooth, delicate. So the harder, the stiffer you go with this is basically how much input you have to give the car for it to move. So rear anti-roll bars are usually the culprit if your car feels stiff, or just roll bars in general. For springs, I have mine pretty stiff. This allows the car to be planted on the ground. Same with dampening. The high dampening allows you to. Most of the tracks we run are not bumpy, so it's planted to the ground and has good responsiveness with the ground, the suspension, all of that. But not to a point where it's like, I can't go over a curb. And that's basically what you want. This car has no aero, and I forgot to mention in the upgrade section, do not get the big ass wing or Forza aero. Either of those two, don't get them. I mean, you could, but it messes with the car, and well, that's on you if you want to tune that. Brakes, all the way in the rear. It'll help you drive better. Trust me, it helps. It's a good, nice little tip. A lot of wheel drivers brake exactly when they're driving, and it's for a very good reason. You will see in the driving section. And you want a low braking force so you can control the car better. Also, a lot of things you just play around with the car a lot in the braking. For the diff, I have 60 100, but you could have it at 100 100 to lock the diff. This is basically so when I'm on the throttle, it just doesn't take it all in at once, and it's just trying. I don't know, I personally don't like it being super incredibly responsive, but most people do. So yeah, and that concludes the tune for my car. So this part I'm like freestyling it. I'm watching my own replay of me doing the track. This is not a perfect run or even a good run, to be honest, but I'll just show. I just wanted to show you the line. This is called South Line, and just a couple of stuff why I do it. Just a couple of tricks that I do. So for example, right here I didn't feel like I was getting enough angle, so I braked. So braking allows you to get more angle, and if you guys remember from the tuning section, I put it all the way in the rear. Why? When I brake, it kicks the ass of the car out a little bit and allows me to get a better, it allows you to like micromanage the car without having to move your wheel. Trying to move the steering wheel itself is like, you want to move it as little as possible. You'll be able to tell that I also brake during transitions because it's really, really smooth and allows you to do that. So mid-corner, you're allowed to like get more angle. Like right here, I lose a little bit of the angle just so I can make it all the way on the outside. And then I go, that was pretty bad, but I got high angle, low angle right now, and then I kick out and then I get high angle, so I can make it through the middle, getting really close to the wall, which is what you want. You want to go as wide as possible. Now I'm going to show you the tandem section and how to tandem. Unfortunately, I don't have any friends online, so
What do you want?
hop on Forza, bro. So this part is just gonna be me commentating over the tandem run. This is me and my friend Crispy, and he's a very good lead. And this is not one of our best runs, but whatever works. um, so here I just basically full throttle, and whenever I feel like I'm getting too close, you can basically glue to each other and touch each other's cars like perfectly. But if you feel like you're coming in hot, use the brakes, soften up. Uh, Notice how he used the brake to slow down and let me catch up, and I use my brakes just to make like the transition smoother. Um, Use if you feel like you're also getting gapped, like there's like a little gap between you and the lead. Try throttle controlling softly. Try putting less throttle into it, and you'll be able to catch up. The car grips up. You might get less angle, etc., but you will catch up, and that's the whole point of tandeming. Now, you want to get as close as possible. Just don't be afraid. Of course, ask permission for somebody first, and of course, most controller players won't be as smooth as this. But I'm open. I'm always open for games. If anybody wants to shoot me a message and want to play with me and join the groups, I'll be happy to help you with anything that's in person. But tandeming is hard. Tandeming took me to get how I'm doing it right now. Again, 6 years. So don't feel bad if you don't get it on the first try. And if other people say some stupid shit like, "Oh, get out of here," blah blah blah, we don't want a newbie, then just don't listen to them. It's not worth fighting over. So that basically concludes the entire guide. There are a few things that I didn't mention, like clutch kicking, e-brake, stuff like that. Overall, you want to avoid clutching as much as possible, and you want to avoid e-braking as much as possible. So the reason why you want to leave your wheel as still as possible is so you don't look flicky, you don't look wobbly to the person, and when you e-brake, when you press the clutch, all of that happens. The reason I said for you guys to use the clutch is if you're about to spin out, it's a really good crutch like thing. But other than that, try just throttling and braking and steering, and try not to steer that much. That is literally it. Other than that, this game is extremely easy. I would not be surprised if some of you picked it up in like 2-3 weeks. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you stuck this far, this is my first type of a video that I do like this, like a tutorial, but I feel like I'm good enough to be able to teach other people, right? So yeah, thank you very much, and I really appreciate it. If you liked it, sub and like. I'll definitely make more videos like this, and if you have a suggestion for what I should teach y'all in the next video, that's totally cool. I'll actually take suggestions. So yeah, thank you.